Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to the Keepers Club podcast. We'd like to formally invite and to thank you for tuning in to this episode, this Keepers Club episode 12. And this podcast is hosted by Keepers Club, a club that aims to keep young people like us away from negative activities such as smoking, drinking, doing drugs, and to help guide and uplift young adults like us who are tuning in, especially people who might be going through depression, loneliness, and eventually suicidal thoughts. And we have the privilege to invite keepers that are willing to join this week's recording on sharing their experiences on how to stay healthy, happy, and motivated. Because at the end of the day, that's really the goal of the club or Keepers Club to share with others as one were to do with their own brother or sister. And just like the club slogan, I am my brother's keeper, we will do whatever it takes to share the love that we experience individually and as a group here in Keepers Club. And we love to also thank the founding president of Keepers Club, who is none other than Pastor Apollo C. Kibeloy, for this opportunity to be a part of our Keepers Club podcast. Without further ado, let us all introduce and welcome the keepers that have joined this episode 12, part 2. So, kindly wave and greet all the keepers tuning in from all over the world. How are you there,
Ooh,
keepers?
Hi
hello.
everybody.
Hello,
How's everyone day?
hello.
Hi.
Hi, Eric. Hi, Keeper Anthony,
Hi,
Keeper
Keeper
Mari, Keeper
Calvin.
Jessica,
What's
Keeper
up,
Jane, Keeper
guys? Wavy wave.
How's everyone? How's your day? You guys do anything
Good,
memorable?
good.
Anything nice? Go anywhere fun?
It's been pretty good, Kuya. Keeper Calvin. I've been at school recently, but that's kind of it. Just doing homework, keeping it on the grind. That's it, though.
Go, Kuya Eric at school at on the grind. Is anyone else been having a great day as well? Glad you're safe, by the way, Bunso. How about anyone else share your day? How about you,
It was
Tong? How
good.
about you, Mari? How about you, Jello?
I
Keeper Hannah?
I
Keeper Jessica? Keeper
uh,
Jane? Oh, hi, Han, by the way. How are you, Han?
I so as I was saying, school was great today. I joined choir, which is really good, and yeah, today is great, and I liked it.
Go, Jello. I'm glad. I'm glad you joined choir. And speaking of choir, we might have a very special icebreaker also. Now that you mention it, so good luck, Keeper Jello, and go Keeper Jello also gift for singing. How about anyone else? How's your day? Did you guys do anything nice this week or recently? How about you, Josh, Keeper Hannah, Keeper Jessa, Keeper Jake?
My day's been good. School's great. Yeah. I recently took a field trip to a hospital. That was fun. Woo.
Woo! Hey, Keeper Mari. Go Keeper Mari from the hospital, and I'm glad you were visiting it rather than being one of the patients. So go, a healthy Keeper Mari. And anyone else before we get on with our PowerPoint? Not only is this the opportunity to share our journey through Keepers Club, to share our experiences, but also, if you don't have someone to share your day with, if you've done something fun recently or ate something delicious or done something like unforgettable, we have this platform also that we invite you for you guys to join for any keeper, regardless of who they are, where they came from, to be a part of the Keepers family. So, how about one final one? Anyone would like to share their day, daily life of a keeper?
It changes during school. Like when in the summer, I'm more involved with the activities, but now I'm just stuck with Algebra 2 homework. But it's okay. At least we still get the opportunity for us keepers to, converse here. So I'm fine about that. This is pretty much the highlight of my day right now. After school, like 5 days a week, bro. But it's alright. Going good. So yeah.
There you go, bro. I'm glad, and likewise also, because yeah, like for me, really quick, I was hit by a dog earlier, so you can say I'm a lot happier, feel a lot better in this
We bought a
podcast.
dog. What?
Okay, let's move on though to our PowerPoints. Woo! So I hope you guys are as excited as your Kuya Calvin. Other than that, let's start. All right. So can anyone tell me what's on the screens?
I can tell you. Okay.
Oh, you
On the
can.
screen right
So,
here, we have Keepers Club Podcast, episode 12, part 2. Wow.
I'm glad it's on
Amazing.
my gosh. Okay. Okay, let's move on. I'll zoom in
Next
also.
slide.
Okay.
Awesome, awesome.
Never mind about the zooming in, but let's go into our intro. All right. So oh, okay, perfect. You guys can see yourself, by the way, your faces, your
Yeah, can
everyone's
see.
beautiful faces. Alrighty.
Visible, yes.
So so guys, once again, to all the viewers especially, we are the Keepers Club podcast, and we are a podcast to help guide, encourage, and uplift the youth. The youth, just like you and me, just like all the keepers in this episode. And we do this through Zoom, as you can see. We post our full episodes on YouTube, so feel free to check out Keepers Club podcast, and as well as taking our group photos and sharing the memories, the topics with everyone on our Facebook page, Keepers Club podcast. We do this ideally every Tuesday at 4 p.m. California time. And the reason we do this, once again, is I am my brother's keeper. We really treat all the keepers that join in just like one were to treat their own brother or sister. And we do this through gathering, bonding, and sharing with keepers all over the US. One way we do it is through Zoom. And of course, the goal also is to really gather more keepers that we can really bond with them, to really develop our relationship with them so that we can all have in-person gatherings. Maybe we could really join through, music jam sessions. We can all run around and uh take a tour downtown in our respective keepers club, and essentially to really once again build a friendship with the keepers who really need for keepers especially who don't have the opportunity or the privilege to have a group of friends or a group of who is an atis that they can really trust to really share with, and especially to really to share the love that we felt through keepers club. So I'll ask also, based on our pictures, as you can see, we are having such a successful and very memorable Keepers Club podcast. These are our group photos, like we mentioned, that we post on Facebook, and it's been such a privilege to really have, to really, to really host, for all of the keepers here, and to really, um, just to look back on, seeing all the keepers, regardless of what state they are, regardless of the visitors, the guests that have joined. It's been such a privilege as well, once again. And we, if anything, we always thank the founding president, Apollo Kibuloy, for this privilege. So we are forever grateful. And we'd also like to ask any other keeper to share their experiences as well. What you think of the podcast, what you think the point of the podcast is, and how it's treating you so far.
The podcast has been very great. As for me, I'm a very talkative person. I've mentioned that past times, but that's what I do. So like, I mean, at home after school, you don't got many people to talk to, right? So like right here, I can just talk. Let yourself go. You kind of fulfill what your personality really is. So yeah, that's how the podcast's been treating me. It's been good. I enjoy being here with all the other keepers, and yeah, it's pretty nice.
Likewise, Bunso. And even if I'm hosting it, I truly am also very happy to see all the keepers, to share, and even to be a keeper myself. Right. So, how about anyone else? Any other keepers willing to share?
I can share. So I really like seeing progression and growth, and you can definitely see it here because I remember before even you said right there was only a few, but since we're propagating the Keepers Club podcast, we're calling more young people. We're in our own ways we help other kids our age or younger or older find a place where they can talk about their problem, and it's a blessing in disguise, I guess, or not really in disguise because you can see it. It's blessing because you can see each other grow as well, and you can see each other helping other young people be more, open to society through us, by helping them open up about their problems. That's it.
Mhm. Very nice. Yeah, thank you, Ton. All right, we'll talk a little more about the Keepers Club a little later on, like toward the end. But let's move on also. So, alrighty, and thank you as well to all the keepers willing to share their experiences. Let's move on to some of our favorite parts of the podcast. All right, one of them actually, which is our icebreakers. All right, so the first one being is finish the sentence. So I will um stop sharing the screen because this icebreaker, finish the sentence, requires the chat box. So it's gonna be like this. I'll type in um I joined this podcast because dot dot dot. All right. And while keepers are filling out that blank while they finish the sentence, we like to once again greet all the keepers joining into this podcast. So regardless if you're here also in the US or if you're also in any other country or any part of the world, once again, continent, um we thank you for joining, and also we invite you to join our Keepers Club podcast or to reach out to the other clubs, the other Keepers Club there in your respective country, continent, state. So lots of love from the Keepers Club podcast here in the United States, and love also to Keeper Tone, who has revealed that the podcast is a weekly thing, and he loves joining because he loves talking with the other white people. Wow, very nice. Right. So feel free to the other keepers who want to share anything else that they've joined, why they joined. Go also keeper Mari. Um, that because no matter what, that she can really share thoughts and still feel very welcome. Wow. Likewise also, and go 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 everyone joining because they love to talk and to connect with others. Very wow, likewise, right? So all right, let's move on. How about this one? I'll All right, so I'll type in one thing that I overcame recently is, and also not while they're typing in, while everyone's typing, we also wish to all the keepers watching this pre-recorded episode, this episode 12, we hope your day is going well. So especially if you had a terrible day, we like to tell you that it can only get better. And we are glad that you're safe. We're glad you got to wake up today. We hope that you got to eat. And, if anything, love to you, your family, to all the keepers as well. They're in your respective, ano. So, but other than that, go Bunso for overcoming homework, keeping cool under stress. Also, Bunsos, feel free for everyone to share. And if anything, something I overcame is not hitting a dog with a broom. So much love to everyone who loves their enemies also. And while we move on, also goalkeeper Sherlyn or keeper Hannah, first day of school. All right, I think last one for this. It's Does anyone want to make one up on the spot? Okay.
If
Yes, go
hold on,
Tone.
let me type it. Let me type.
Okay, as Tone types that in, I'll also look for a more upbeat music, by the way. But hope you're enjoying the music as well. And we are looking forward to this very exciting episode. So once again, we hope that you are just as anxious and excited as we are in um this topic, because truly it is a very nice topic. We'll get into it though. Um, but final one for this one. If I could change something in society for the better, it would be blank. So not only feel free to type in the chat box, but also for anyone actually first time, feel free to say hi to the keepers. Like if you have a message toward them, any of the keepers that are watching on YouTube, anything you would like to tell them yourself. So go keepers. I'm gonna type something also. All right, but if not, it's okay. It happens. And to all the keepers who, not this time to everyone watching, but to the keepers that joined this episode, we must say that we absolutely adore and love your guys's podcast outfit, everyone's hair, everyone's backgrounds, your earphones, your chairs, and we also hope that you too are safe. You got to drink water. You got to um you got to overcome, and we're glad that you are still here today. So um much love from all the keepers in this episode especially. All right. Public aid and homeless. Yeah. And as we move on to the next icebreaker, we just like to thank all the keepers as well. Go keepers, changing the amount of love on earth, something in society, wishing for people to see a bright place. Good luck. And for public aid, wow. And social media. We love we love you can elaborate too, but good luck, goalkeeper Sherlin. All right, what's the one? Hey, this one is Would You Rather. So I'm glad that we're a little more prepared for this icebreaker actually. So okay. So I'm gonna stop sharing the screen also. And it's as simple as this. Would you rather option one or option two? So it's gonna be like this. Let me share the audio too. It's like this. So option one or option two? Would you rather give up on your dreams? Okay, my bad. Option one, give up on your dreams and die, or die trying? Two? Two? No. Okay, no one better have one, right? Good. All right, go keepers. All right, how about this one? Would you rather have a panic attack or take a deep breath? Two? Nice. No one wants to have a panic attack either? No? All right. How about this? Would you rather quit? Commercial break. Sorry about that. Would you rather quit or try tomorrow? Two, try tomorrow. Goalkeepers. Okay, how about this? Would you rather regret something you've done or move on thinking that it's just a mistake to live by or to learn by? So live on regretting or learn from your mistakes? Two? Everyone's saying option two? For all of them, actually? And who made these questions, right? And how about this one? This one's good. Would you rather say, I can't believe I did that, or I wish I did that? Really? One? You'd rather say, I can't believe I did that, rather than, I wish I did that. Two? Two? One? Yeah, we'll talk more about it. So go keepers, taking the chance or not taking the chance. But we'll talk more about it after. I'll reconnect. All right, and let's move on to this one. So go keepers, nice thank you for participating also. And I'll stop sharing the screen for this one because this one is show us your talent. All right. So we started this actually 2 weeks ago, 2 episodes ago. And as I stopped sharing the music as well, there's a lot of keepers all over the world, especially in the US, that we believe have talents, have God-given gifts. So not only are we have this opportunity once again to share, to really share our love, but also to share our gifts. Many of us don't have a stage or an opportunity to share our talents. So we invite everyone here to really share and to really perform. I'm going to perform, of course, like if no one else wants to, but luckily, we love to give the floor to Keeper Eric.
Ooh,
Go
okay,
Keeper,
all
go
right.
Keeper Rick.
Okay,
Wait,
okay.
pause.
For my talent that I don't really display to other people because the last time I do it, they always take it away from me. Like, not the talent, I mean like the thing that I use with the talent. It's this. This is a Rubik's Cube.
Like,
Now, I am able to solve a Rubik's Cube. Now, it's weird because, like, I can do it pretty fast. But it's like not, it's something that people think is hard, but it's not really that hard. Like, I learned it in like 30 minutes. Not lying. I mean, you have to memorize some stuff, but trust me, if you like put work into it, it's actually pretty easy. Okay, so first thing, if you want to solve a Rubik's Cube, you
wait, can I
gotta
give you a round of
scramble it.
applause, Bunso?
What could you,
Okay, wait, let's give it up for Eric. Woo! Eric,
Ooh! Thanks for the
Eric, we'll
clap. I
tag you
really
too.
appreciate
Go,
it.
Eric.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, okay. So back to it. You just scramble this first, like this or something. Okay. What you want to do is you want to make a white cross, which means you make a cross on the bottom here. And I do it. Actually, some people think that if you just keep on twisting it and turning it, it'll make the cube harder to solve. That is false. If you want to make the cube harder to solve, you just got to make it really hard for the person who's solving it to get like this cross here. Now, after you've gotten this cross, you have to like solve these two layers. This is actually a more advanced method. It's called F2L, which means first two layers. And you solve the first two layers at the same time. So like right there, I just put in the pair for red and blue. And now if I do this, I'll put in the pair for blue and orange. And then you just do that with the remaining amount of pairs you have. And then soon enough, these two, this is solved. All of this. You see that? Wow. Okay. So last step, or not the last step, second to last step. At the top here, you got to make this entire top part yellow. This is called OLL, which actually I forgot the meaning of it. But basically, it's just a set of algorithms that you have to memorize, right? And for me, I do two-step OLL, which means I have to do two algorithms to make the whole thing be yellow, which I just did right there. Now it's all yellow. How magical, right? Okay, now the last step, this is called PLL. Now, I also forgot what PLL means, but I'm pretty sure the P stands for permutation, which means like, this is like a bunch of, it's a math thing, I honestly don't know. But here, there's this case here, you have a separate case, like you can identify it by the colors. And for every case you get, there's a different algorithm for it. So for this one, I think it's called a Y-perm that you have to do. Basically, you do this, and it solves like, it kind of like puts the corners in place, I guess. And then you just, there you go. Last part. All solved. Wow. Okay. See, that's very cool. It impresses a lot of people. But like, it's very easy. Anyone can totally learn to do it. And I swear it's nothing magical. It's very easy. For me, you can do it like, I average like 20 seconds, but other people average like 5 seconds. So it's pretty crazy. It's a very cool sport. And yeah, very awesome. So yeah, that's my talent. Ooh.
Let's give it up for Eric. Woo! Go Bunso. Boy, both I swear, like in a blink of an eye, it was like done already. Right? So thank you, Eric, for your Rubik's Cube tutorial. At the same time, like a world record here in the Keepers Club podcast. Not only with a very unique talent, you can say, but also to really like execute it while teaching it. So go Bunso. Let's give another round of applause to Eric. Woo! All right. Yep. Rick, thank you.
Very
All right,
welcome. I'm very
who's
glad.
next? Who would like to share their talents? Oh, wait, was that a hand? There was I saw one hand like
Go Anthony. Woo!
yeah, go Anthony. I also saw a virtual hand, so
Keeper
let me know.
Anthony.
But go
I think
Anthony.
you want to go, huh?
Can I sing something in Spanish?
Okay.
Yeah, sure. As long as
Go
we give
ahead.
you
I
a
feel like you
proper
guys
intro.
know the song. But I'll try my best because I only been practicing ukulele for like 2 weeks. I haven't really played, so this is like a song that I learned. Okay.
Wait, hold up, hold up. Let's give it up for Anthony. Woo!
Woo!
Proton.
Okay, so guys, if you guys want to dance, like you can dance it because it's a really groovy song. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna start now. Para bailar la bamba se necesita una poca de grasa, una poca de grasa para mí, arriba, 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 por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré. Bamba la bamba, bamba la bamba, bamba la bamba, la bamba. That was it. It's a funny.
Wow, I'm really loving it.
Let's give it up
That's
for
very good,
Anthony.
Keeper Anthony.
Woo! All right.
Woo.
Boy, before we call on the next keeper, we like to once again, like the point of this, there's keepers that have hidden talents within them, right? So we have this opportunity. We're trying to do this every week actually. So there's no wrong talent, and we will be the first one to support you and to really admire your God-given gift, right? So who's next, by the way? Okay. Is there let me know, but if not, I'll is there anyone else? Any takers? No? All right,
Woo,
I'll
Keeper
go.
Calvin.
Yeah, how'd you know? Okay, word. But
Let's
the
see your
only
talent,
reason is
Keeper
because,
Calvin.
right, like how can I expect other keepers to perform if like I personally aren't, right? And I'll try to make it quick rather than that. Enjoy the song, guys, right? It's a no. Can you hear it?
We'll see.
Yeah? Yeah?
Play something. We'll hear it.
What's up?
Play something.
Okay. Test, 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 test.
Kinda. It's like
Okay.
cutting out a little bit.
Yeah, true, true.
Let's see.
Um,
Audio fix.
oh, yeah. Okay, good. Or, hold on. Relates to the topic. I can tell while you're walking this valley, and I can tell you just how long you got to stay, and I can tell you why your heart feels so unsettled. Oh, when this all will change. But I can tell you there is something you can lean on. It's a promise that will bend and it won't break. And it will keep you when the future is uncertain. You're not out of grace. When the darkness overwhelms you and the fear just won't subside, when your questions outweigh answers on those long and lonely nights, when you got to keep on moving, He is with you in the valley of despair. He won't leave you there. He won't leave you there. He won't leave you there. He won't leave you there.
Wow, honestly, very good. Very good, Keeper Calvin. Woo!
Let's give it
That's
up for.
awesome.
I know, man.
I love the song, especially the lyrics. Not only your
Let's
guitar
give it up
skills, but also
for
the
Keeper
lyrics.
Hano. Woo!
Woo!
Yeah.
That's awesome. Awesome, dude.
Okay, sorry my camera broke, but who's next, by the way? One more, or will we move on? How about Keeper Josh, Keeper Mom, Keeper Mari,
Keeper Sherlin.
Keeper Sherlin, or Han?
Uh,
Josh?
sure.
Go, Josh!
Okay.
Final one, I guess.
Uh,
Go, Josh!
This one I just learned recently, so I'm just gonna play the chorus.
Empty by Josh.
1 sec, go, Keeper Josh!
Excited. Let's go, Josh.
Go, Josh!
Woo! Let's hear
All
it.
right.
Okay. Wow, that's awesome. Awesome
Give it up for
sound.
Josh!
Wow. How does
Speechless,
you
man.
sound like 3
Speechless.
instruments at once? Keeper Collins, right? That's
Wait,
incredible. Wow. Awesome,
Keeper
awesome,
Josh,
awesome.
can you give credit to the other 5 people with you, Josh? Would you like to introduce them?
Oh, it's me and myself and also Ice here.
Nice.
Wow.
Let's give it
Hi,
up for
Josh,
the
myself,
Joshes.
and Josh
Woo!
I. Wow.
Josh, so awesome.
Amazing,
Thank you for
amazing.
performing, by the way, Keeper Josh. Alright. So, guys, once again, goalkeeper Josh and all the keepers who performed, we will do this every week. So we love to invite you to perform. And any last calls? But any, okay, so we'll move on. But thank you as well. And then literally, if you didn't have a chance to perform this week, you have all the other weeks hopefully. But go all the keepers with hidden talents and God-given talents, you can say. So much love, and let's move on. So awesome icebreaker, right? You guys enjoy also. You enjoying the episode? All right, ooh, goalkeepers. All right, so disclaimer: rated everyone is pleasing to the ear. Kindly avoid cursing, sharing anything traumatic, and of course, spreading anything that goes against our slogan, "I am my brother's keeper." Right? So thumbs up. Everyone all good? Thumbs up. Alrighty, so
Thumbs up.
move on. And once again, this episode is called episode 12, Never Giving Up. So, once again, especially if you weren't here last time, we went over some definitions. We have a foundation always. We try to really, do our research as well. So, some things we wanted to find is the definition of surrender, to give oneself up into the power of another, especially a prisoner. Or the definition of giving up, cease making an effort or allow oneself to be taken over by emotion or failure. You can see the pictures, people symbolism of waving a white flag and people, really being pessimistic, thinking they can't do it or giving up. And some more definitions though, the negative, we want to give some positive definitions. The definition of discipline, which is to train someone to obey rules or a code of behavior, punishment to obedience, and also the definition of an overcomer, a person who defeats defeats someone, something, or some problem of difficulty. All right, so that was surrender, giving up, discipline, and overcomer. And we also wanted to put essentially like things that we should give up, right? So I know we can all read, but some things we wanted to highlight is, we should really give up being negative, comparing ourselves, worrying, temporary pleasures, and being too hard on yourself, right? So kindly jot down some notes, especially if you'd like to talk a little more about some of them, right? But these are especially we highlighted different ones compared to last week, right? Of course, we should not give up on specific things, but there are things we should give up, right? And just know, not only for us but all the keepers tuning in, things will get hard, right? You will experience lots of life challenges, distractions, trials, obstacles, etc. And we will face them. There's no way of avoiding them. And things that they may occur in is our workplace, maybe our own personal goals, motivation, and even our life purpose. But think about this quote. Something we wanted to share, right? When life gets too hard to stand, when life gets too hard to stand, kneel, right? Meaning like, meaning to pray. So, thank you so much for your understanding. And right, essentially, when things get too hard, pray, right? So we can elaborate a little more about that. But once again, before we jump into our discussion, this is episode 12, never giving up, right? So, what is your definition of giving up? What is something that you think about when you feel like quitting? And why should keepers not give up on a specific task, goal, or calling in life? Right? So, let's talk about that, right? I'll stop sharing the screen, but we wanted to talk about like what your guys' definition is of giving up, or maybe a personal experience of how you guys felt like quitting, or what many keepers are willing to, what time of day feel like quitting, and why should not keepers give up, especially if they're calling. I will copy and paste this to the chat and also the question, but I'll lower the music as well. But who would like to start it off?
Okay, so just my thoughts on like the previous slides that we've been
Thank you
going
also for your
through.
understanding. I know the music was a little too loud.
But
Here's this.
there's also our
So this
definition
is actually
of
also a part 2,
giving up.
right?
Mhm.
Feel free to jump in. There's no wrong answers. We will defend you also in case you are embarrassed or someone feels like laughing at you,
Okay,
right?
Calvin.
Because we're all brothers and sisters here.
Okay,
And
Calvin.
this is not a class, right? This is a podcast.
Eric, I
so
don't
it's
think he
gonna be
can
like
hear
rapid
you.
fire. So
I don't think he
it'll
can
be like
hear.
one person and then boom, like the
You
other
can hear me,
person
right, Eric?
quick answer, right? The
Oh my
opportunity
God.
to really share but also speak from the heart, right? Why do you think keepers shouldn't give up? I'll be willing to share also, but of course we want to open the floor to you guys. So go keepers.
Okay, so definition of giving up, I would say it's like forfeiting something that you originally had a motivation for to do. Like if you have to give up, you have to have started doing something already, right? So originally you had some motivation. Along the way you lost that motivation and you plummeted. You just forfeited whatever task you were trying to accomplish. And next question, something that I think about when I feel like quitting is, it's just like a sense of defeat. I don't know how you describe it, but it's not like something, like good to experience, obviously. Although you don't want to, it's like a weird contrast because you don't want to give up, but you still do anyways. And I guess the reason for that is because you lost motivation to do whatever you wanted to do in the first place. And
Thank you, Bunso. And thank you for sharing. All right. So who's next? Maybe also too, if we can like maybe start like slowly build into it. Like what do you think? What do you believe that giving up is, right? Or what's your definition of giving up and why keepers all over the world shouldn't shouldn't, right?
I can go, if unless Kuya Anthony wants to go.
You can go.
My definition of giving up is basically you're like stopping. Like you give up, you're not doing anything. So you're stopping, you're not doing anything. And that's not really a good thing. You always want to keep moving forward because, I said this last episode too, but it's true. Once you hit rock bottom, you can only go up. So there shouldn't be a reason why you should give up. So yeah, I think Kuya Anthony could go.
Goalkeeper Mari and goalkeeper Tone.
Okay, so for me the meaning of never give or giving up, is it giving up or never giving up? Giving up, right? So
Never
I
giving up.
think yeah. So for me, giving up is losing. Okay, so we, you know, in a hero's journey or in someone's journey like us, we all have our own path that we trod, right? We always have that goal in the end of the road. But I think sometimes things get thrown at us, wind, water, rock, and we just lose ourselves in our journey. But picking up yourself and walking that path again to finish your journey, I think that's what really matters, because we can get lost in our own journey by ourselves, but you know that other people are walking that same journey as well, or similar. So you can also look to each other, you know to your model, to our model. If they were able to do it, then why can we finish our journey, right? So for me, never giving up, it sounds naive, but to say that never giving up is not an option, it's very it seems harsh, because people may be at their lowest, but you don't give up, because there's a prize, there's a reward at the end that we can always, it's not impossible, nothing is impossible. So that's, for me, never giving up is, you know always stand up after you're fallen. That's it. Thank you.
Very nice, keeper Tone. And yeah, I love that response. I was just gonna say that, like, I hope keepers listening to that response, and to all the responses, especially what keeper Tone said, that they can really relate to it, and because I know for sure that the the keepers here in this episode know exactly what he's talking about. Right, so go keeper Tone, and go the next keeper who wants to share.
What I believe in giving up is when you desire something, but then one day you just give up because there are some obstacles really hard to pass. Yeah, so that's my giving up.
Yeah, goalkeeper Hannah. Or, I was wondering too, are you gonna share also, keeper Sherlyn? Uh, yeah, if not, it's all good. But we'll keep it going. And yeah, thank you for sharing, keeper Hannah. Right. So, how about anyone else, or you know, like the question, right? Wait, how about this? What is something that you think about when you hear the word giving up? Or really overcoming. All right. Not all at once, by the way, all the keepers. We appreciate the excitement, though. But I'm sure all the keepers here they have a lot to say, right? So, um, we'd love to hear you, and feel free to share.
Can you say the thing again, the question?
Oh yeah, sure. Yes. So, I have it in the chat, but in case,
Oh,
so what
okay.
is your definition of giving up? What is something that you think about when you feel like quitting? And why should keepers not give up on a specific task, goal, or calling in life?
Oh, so being called an overcomer is something that I aspire to be. And, we're all in that journey of being tried, of being, formed, I guess, of being, um, like I said, you're in a journey and you're trying to overcome all of the trials, all of the shakings that happens to you throughout that journey. And for me, a keeper or keepers should not give up on a specific goal or calling in life, most importantly, because you're striving to become an overcomer, like like Mandisa said in the song. Everybody's been down, everybody's hit rock bottom, but they always rise up, right? So even us, it seems as though we're just little human. It seems as though we're just human, but at least we can call ourselves overcomer, even if in our just everyday life, in school, in your family, in your friends, because it doesn't have to be like a physical journey, like, oh, you have to fight someone to get to something. Like, it could be emotional, mental, and that can happen everywhere, in your school, in your house, even in the street. You're just walking, and then you just have a mental battle. Like, you can, don't give up, because being called an overcomer is a very it's a rewarding word, because yeah, you went through something very, you know that formed you into who you are supposed to be, into what you can be, the highest level that you can be. So yeah, for keepers, keep going. It's not difficult, it's not impossible, it's the better word. It's not impossible. Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you, Keeper Tone. Right. Um, and how about this? What if I were to like give a scenario, right? What about a keeper that has like lost motivation? What if imagine a keeper, whether they're young or old, what if they lost motivation, because of breakup? What about they lost their job? What about they lost a family member? What about they feel like giving up, like the world is against them, or they feel like there's no one to look to, right? So what would be your advice to them? Or what are some things to really not only comfort them, but to really make them realize the reality, right? Because think about it too. We can be so motivated. We can really be so motivated, through a song like this, or a motivational speech, or through like after this podcast. But after that, like the motivation stops, then what's a reason to keep going? I know there's a lot of questions, but what would you say to a keeper that has lost motivation, not only to follow their a goal, specific task, or to keep going?
So I think with the topic of lost motivation, because I've also experienced that a lot, there's a bunch of techniques. Like, you can find them online. Stuff works personally for you. Like, what works for me might not work for you, but there's several techniques that you can use, just like really like refined according to your personal needs or experiences to help you regain lost motivation. Now, for me, what I found it comes down to, like, ultimately the bare bottom of it is just your sheer willpower to do it. Like, if you just choose to do it, it's gonna happen if you actually want to do it. Like, it's a hard thing to explain for me, but it for me personally it's worked. Just like, even if I feel like I've lost motivation, I still do it anyways. You get what I mean? Like, I still make the conscious choice to keep on moving even if I feel like, not like doing it anymore. And that's something that works for me. Other You can use other techniques as well, just like reevaluating your goals. Maybe you're reaching a goal that's like too heavy for you to bear. Maybe you're not doing something the correct way. Maybe you gotta like redefine what way you're attacking a problem or getting to a certain place that you want to be at. Or sometimes it's just as simple as sleeping and just eating something. Because sometimes you feel like one time you're gonna feel like depressed or something, right? And then you're gonna feel at that time lost. You're gonna feel like you're at rock bottom. Then you take a nap and wake up in the next morning. You feel fine. You feel like nothing ever happened. And as what they say, joy comes in the morning. Sometimes it's as simple as that. But if it lasts longer, then that's another thing that I haven't really gone personally through yet, but looking for ways to tackle that kind of motivation loss. But yeah, that's just my personal thing on it.
Very nice, Bunso. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, I agree. It sounds vague, but you're very right actually. Bunso, especially with like simple solutions like eating food, drinking water, getting rest, right? Um, who else? Especially keepers who have been here and have not had the chance to share. Goalkeeper Jane.
But yeah. Why did you start? That's as simple as that. Why did you begin this? This whole endeavor, all the resources, all the effort, why did you start? And if that reason isn't enough to keep going, then it's probably not worth achieving. On the if that's not enough, I remember in school there was these plans that they had us map out your why. Why are you taking this class? Why do you want to achieve certain goals? And if those reasons are shallow, then you should either change the goal or you should change your reasons. Simple. You're losing motivation. Oh, it's too hard. Remember, you know, when because you didn't know as much as when you started. That's a definite truth. You wouldn't know as much about a certain goal as when you started, but after starting, after analyzing everything that you've gone through, everything that you've suffered, everything that you've sacrificed, every every sleepless night, every effort, blood, sweat, and tears. Sounds very corny, but it's corny because it's true. It's repeated so much because it's true. Just always remember your why. And what is an overcomer? An overcomer is someone who finished what they started. You know,
Yeah, very nice.
very simple words, very simple words, but I'd rather say simple words that are effective than, catch myself rambling too much because I often do that far too much.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's as simple as that. You're losing motivation for a goal. Why did you start?
Can I say something about that?
Go on. Yeah.
Go Don.
I mean, I completely agree. And you know how, I mean, just realizing what I said earlier, like, um, if you have someone, a keeper or young people that's lost, the purpose of why they were doing what they were doing in the beginning, and sometimes saying that, oh, if they can do it, why can't you? If I can do it, why can't you? Sometimes it's ineffective, because what if that drives them even further down, like, like, everyone's better than me, like, I can't do it, I really, just comparing themselves to others. But I think besides that of reminding them why you started, also being there, like a simple word that says, hey, I'm here, let me know if you need anything. Hey, like, are you good? What can I do to help you, or something like that. Just to let them know of your presence in their life, because sometimes you know we look up to a lot of people, right? Especially our model, but not but most of those people are not in our everyday, in our areas, like where we live. They're not just like next door, they're not like 20 minutes away, they're like far away. And so as young people whose purpose or whose hope is kind of like dissipating because of the things that they're going through, just being there means a lot, because it's like a ray of light saying, oh, someone can help you, support you, and like that. And yeah, just making them feel your presence and letting them know that you're there for them. It's a very important and a big help, as I would say. So yeah, that's how I feel like, taking on the problem or the issue of a keeper feeling um dry, or feeling that they're giving up on their journey or their task. Thank you.
Thank you, Keeper Ton. Good luck, Keeper Ton. You were answering a lot.
That's so
Wow.
true, though. I like that. I like both of your answers. That gave me insight, like Jane's and also Keeper Anthony's, because I didn't realize, like, it wasn't something I really realized, that the reason why you start doing something, the reason that you have an incentive to do something is because of a purpose, right? So if you're losing motivation, you go back and redefine what the purpose is for, because that's kind of your incentive to even start doing it, and also to do it. And also the thing about what Keeper Anthony said, like, doubt, when you start to doubt yourself, right? It may be because you're spreading yourself too thin, like you're giving yourself more than you can handle, right? And then it causes doubt to seep into your mind. You start to compare yourself to others, and it kind of goes into this negative feedback loop. But there's ways to change that, because you can just go out and get like encouragement from other people, especially. Like, you yourself can help encourage someone. A compliment makes someone's day sometimes. Like, I've done it before. It's kind of like corny and awkward to do it, but it really does. Like, if you compliment someone, helps them, regain their mood or something, because there's somebody along the pathway that's telling them, hey, don't doubt yourself so much. You're on the right path. You're doing something pretty good, so keep on going. And sometimes that will give someone motivation. Gives me motivation, and that it can be as simple as that. Once again, simple solutions, just like what Jane was saying. Stuff can be just as simple redefining your purpose. Stuff can be as simple as just sleeping or eating something and waking up and feeling better. And yeah, that's pretty much it. What I have to say.
Thank you, Keeper Rick. And you make a very great point, Keeper Eric, because you're talking about how, you know, comparing ourselves, right? That's something that we even put in things that we should give up, right? Comparing ourselves, especially in social media, comparing ourselves to, maybe even another keeper, right? But there's times, right, that there's things that we should give up once again, right? Being negative, things like, I can't do it, or it's impossible, or you're giving excuses, right? Maybe you've gone through a breakup and you lose the significant other that your world once revolved around. And you think, what's the point of life? She's not in my life anymore. He's not like in my life anymore. They're both not in my life anymore, right? Then essentially, what's your purpose in life, right? You think like, what's the point of getting up, brushing my teeth, and taking care of myself? Or imagine, you're negative enough to worry, like, what if my dreams don't come true, right? Um what if it what if I do give my 110% but it fails, right? So um another thing we should give up, right? Temporary pleasures. Imagine thinking that, you really give all your effort, you give all your 100% into temporary things. Once again, you're your significant other, or maybe you feel like life is attacking you, and you feel like smoking, you feel like doing drugs, you feel like um trying to find that comfort that is not right, but you just do it just to live another day, right? Or even being a perfectionist, being too hard on yourself. Imagine it's like you have to be perfect, or if you're not perfect, you want to like beat yourself up, right? But what we've learned through the club, we owe it all to the club, because we found a peace here in this Keepers Club. We found the belonging. We found brothers and sisters that we can be a spiritual family. And once again, all those things, worrying, really depending on temporary pleasures, being negative, really thinking that your life doesn't matter, we can be those kuyas and atis for you. We can be those brothers and sisters to you. And the reason that we say it is because we were once there. We we've 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 been those keepers that have woken up and we feel like there's no purpose. We've we've gone through those experiences where we feel like hurting ourselves, or we feel like if we were to die, no one would care, right? But we really think the club, because we found something that we can really belong to. We found you know keepers from all over the world. Even if we haven't met them or not, they truly are our brother and sister. They really know it's like, hey, oh, you're in Keepers Club. So we really think the founding president, you can say, because right, like, we once again, we were once there. Like, we were once there. What's the point of even trying if we're just gonna be negative, you can say, right? Or we don't even have the willpower to try tomorrow. We don't have the willpower to try again. Maybe we make a mistake and we don't even learn from it. We just choose to be like, oh, I wish I wasn't here. I wish to end the suffering, right? But if anything, we've learned that it's not up to us. It shouldn't be up to us, right? So all we can do is pick up our sword, to stop crying and to live another day, to be strong, just like Keeper Jane is saying. Remember why you started. You don't want to keep you don't want to give up on something that you enlisted for, right? But for example, you enlisted for a specific reason, right? And if anything, once you find your calling in life, you go for it 100%. You succeed or fail, but at least you die trying, for example, right? Or if anything, once again, we're talking about there will come a time where you lose motivation. You lose that feeling of like really seeing that nothing is impossible. But imagine if you live life doing everything you can without any chance of failing, right? Imagine how much confidence of you will have. Imagine how much things you will accomplish. Imagine how much things that you can really achieve without the doubt of your parents, without the doubt of your friends, without the doubt of your teachers, without the doubt of yourself, your biggest enemy, which is yourself, right? So, right? So we're here to tell you that we just want to do our part to share through this Keepers Club, through this Keepers podcast, because once again, we were there. We've been there, and of course, we might not have the same experience as many of the keepers, but we just want to be there for people to really feel a belonging. We will be those queers and aunties that you can really to talk to if you're having a bad day. We can be those keepers that if you have no calling in life, you feel like you don't have a gift, you feel like you don't have belonging anywhere, right? Maybe you've been bullied, maybe you don't feel your self-worth, maybe you feel like life's worthless, right? But we are here to not only motivate you, but to also to really to share our experiences, and we are here to say that you can do it, right? But also we want to be those queers and aunties once again, to really share our blessings with you, you can say, right? Because it's such a privilege for this podcast, even if we're not together personally, that we are able to share with you through this podcast, right? So we thank you for joining as well, and we thank you for sharing. And if anything, just know too, if you've enjoyed, not mine, but like the other responses of the other keepers, we thank you we owe it all to the founding president. We owe it to the Keepers Club, because without this club, we wouldn't have this podcast. We wouldn't have this opportunity to share, right? So, thank you to this opportunity also to share. But we want to open the floor to anyone else. And as I lower the music, as we're coming to an overtime, would anyone else have any final thoughts right away?
I think just some final thoughts about what we talked about today is that you're really never alone in what you're dealing with or your trials, because there's a plethora of other people who have probably gone through a similar thing that you're going through. Obviously, not everyone's experience is the same, but there's a lot of people that you can relate to and talk to. I've heard this saying: if you want to make your plans well, if you want to make sure your plans will succeed, then just talk to someone else, receive the feedback from them. Same way with this. There's a lot of people that you can relate to, a lot of people who go through the same thing as you. And not being alone in a battle increases your confidence, and your confidence will increase your chances to keep on fighting. And that's something that I've pretty much gathered from what we were talking about today. And also, solutions can be just simple things, right? Reevaluating the purpose of why you even started something, and that's like a counterattack to lost motivation. So that's pretty much just my thoughts on stuff today. I kind of had some insight because I didn't really realize that solutions were pretty much that simple, especially to something that sounds so complex, like how having lost motivation or giving up, because a lot of people experience it, but it made me realize that the solutions can be pretty simple, and whatever works for you, you know? And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. Right? Really saying to ourselves too, I will be strong, I will overcome. So, any final thoughts before we move on? Go Keepers.
I will say one thing that I didn't hear mentioned was, of course, life happens. You will feel overwhelmed at times. That's the reason why you feel like giving up. Something might happen. You'll question, can I really handle this? Is this really? Will I survive this even? Will I really make it through this? And when you're overwhelmed by feelings, you feel scared, you feel like you aren't strong enough to handle this. Take a rest. And when I say rest, just a moment to collect yourself. Just take a moment to step aside from your feelings. Put your emotions aside. Look at it from, I say, a practical angle, but it's also including analyzing your emotions. Step aside and sort of compartmentalize everything that's going on. Take one aspect. Okay, so I'm feeling like this. Why? Okay, so the why. Just always ask why. Why, not as in you're doubting yourself, but why, so you can find a solution. And of course, if that solution is as simple as taking a rest, taking a break, do it. And if the solution is more complicated, know what you can and can't control. Simple. You will feel overwhelmed, and when you feel overwhelmed, put your feelings aside for a second and start to look at it from a rational angle. That's all.
Thank you, Keeper Jane. Right, so I'd like to transition also to our final thoughts, which is, right, just like you were saying, actually, remember why you started. There is no such things as regrets, but just mistakes to learn from. And there's always a choice, right? It's a choice to surrender or to get back up and fight. And we have a picture also. That's our founding president. And he said, a man who is not willing to die for something is not ready to live for anything. It's very true, right? So, and also, I kind of mentioned it, but I got it from this. A strong warrior is not one who doesn't cry, but a strong warrior is one who is quiet and sheds tears and picks up his sword and fights again. Right? So there will come bad times, right? and it's not a sin, it's not a crime, and there's no shame in, there's no shame in losing battles, or there's no shame in getting emotional, there's no shames in um really having a bad day. But it's a choice. Are you willing to, are you willing to be strong? Are you gonna overcome? Are you gonna have discipline? And are you gonna fight again? Or are you just gonna throw in the towel, call it quits? Right? So it's really up to us as keepers. So if anything, we are really here to really share um everything that we've shared. And we really thank once again Keepers Club for being for having the compassion to share with souls like us, right? Um, so as we are coming to a close, we want to have a reflection. Some of these questions, right? Um, what did you think about this episode? Any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, or violent reaction? How was your Keepers Club experience? Did anything in particular from our discussion resonate with you? We absolutely love that question. Um, and for any keepers, especially if they haven't shared, we'd like to hear from you. Why do you think we have this podcast? And why should keepers tune in and be aware of the struggles of being a youth? So that's what we really talk about, the struggles of being a youth. So, any absolute final thoughts? Anything from your experience on this podcast? Anything that you'd like to share to all the keepers tuning in? And anything especially, or anything that you like to really share that really spoke to you?
Um, when I like to just emphasize on this topic, not giving up, because it's something everyone will do once in a while, and it's okay if you do, because you just like realize, I'm doing nothing. I need to do something, and just giving up is not a solution. When we were talking about solutions, it's not the best solution. So just staying on task, and not to like to sound like a teacher or anything, but like staying on task, not to just give up and do nothing and being off task. Because I used to get in trouble in elementary school for being off task sometimes, just not focusing, but focus on emphasizing on the fact that why did you start this, for you, for yourself, not for anyone but yourself. So yeah, that's why I really love this topic. 'Cause I think this is like our second or third time doing this topic. It's a really nice topic.
Thank you, Kipper Mari. And if anything, too, I hear what you're saying. Also, like we do things for ourselves, right? And at the same time, too, there's no shame also in really doing it for others, or to really make other people proud, right? So yeah, and I agree though, of course. And then there's also like no shame in, once again, really making who you want, to really please who you want, and to really remember that there's always someone to make proud. So can we also call keeper Sherlyn? We love to hear from you. Anything that you resonated with in the podcast episode, or anything that you'd like to say to all the viewers tuning into this part 2 of episode 12, Never Giving Up. So go keeper Sherlyn.
As a father, I really like this podcast because it's giving me a lot. It's na my English, yung English ko mahirap ang English. Pwede magtagalog.
Yeah, go keeper Sherlyn, Tagalog.
Okay. So, itong podcast, nagbibigay siya sa akin ng yung mga advice niyo. Parang instead na gagawin ko na siya, pero pag nakinggan ko yung mga advice niyo, parang hindi ko na lang siya gagawin, like yung giving up. Minsan gusto ko din mag-give up kasi ang dami ko nang ginagawa, tapos may ibibigay pa sa akin na mga gagawin ko, tapos yun, minsan gusto ko din mag-give up sa mga bagay na pinapagawa sa akin. Pero dahil dito sa ano sa podcast, nagpapasalamat ako kasi sa mga advice niyo nagbibigay sa akin ng inspirational or something like that sa Father.
Boy, thank you, Keeper Sherlin. And I know that there will be Tagalog speaking viewers that have understood that, and also the Tagalog speaking keepers that have joined this episode that have really been blessed, you can say, by your answer. Personally, I didn't understand it, but I could feel it. But I just really, we're really glad that you're able to share, Keeper Sherlin. Right. So thank you for
Can I
sharing.
translate?
Go, yeah, and go Keeper
I
Ton.
can translate for her if you guys want.
Go Ton. And go Sherlin.
Okay, I understand Sherlin's point of view. She said she's already doing, she's already given a task, and then she's given another task, and like, it feels like it's a little too much for her, that she wants, she thinks of giving up. But she said she thinks the podcast, because of the topic that we're going talking about, which is never giving up. She's saying that she learned something from, hearing what our point of view is, or how we have a takes on giving up. She said that, she's more inclined to not give up, and, continue to go. And even though like it's too much for her, because she said, sometimes you're already doing something, and then they tell you to do one more thing, and it's a little too much, and that's how she feels like overwhelmed and wants to give up. But yeah, that's what she means, that the podcast is helping her to have a different point of view when it comes to her, and the idea of giving up.
Very nice. Thank you for translating Keeper Tone. For me, for any other who didn't necessarily understand it. Um, but also once again, goalkeeper Sherlin. And if anything, I can speak for all of us keepers, all the keepers all over the world, that that we really think once again that this is not our podcast, this is not our doing, but it is truly the orchestration of our founding president, and also um the man upstairs, right? Because think about it, if we were to share our own interpretation of love, maybe we would be like, all right guys, we are Killers Club, and so someone every time someone hurts you or abandons you, we just kill them, right? But no, this is really Keepers Club. Everything we've learned, we are sharing our love, and essentially it is the divine love from God, right? So we're we've been blessed, to have this opportunity, and for keepers like Keeper Sherlin, even if you haven't like spoken much, but you've been here throughout the episode, you've tuned in. To any viewers, we're really happy that you're able to learn, and that we are able to be like a listening ear or a podcast to really help guide and uplift young adults just like us, right? So any absolute final thoughts once again before we go to our closing? And feel free to, of course. All right, we'll have this reflection opportunity always, because we really are always striving to get better each and every episode. And of course, we want to hear the reflection of other keepers. So once again, or not once again, but shout outs. We always have shout outs. Shout outs to the new faces, and especially all the keepers tuning in to this episode. Keepers tuning in like on who have seen it through YouTube, and also the returning keepers: Go Keeper Anthony, Keeper Angelo, Keeper Eric, Keeper Jane, Keeper Josh, Keeper Mari, Keeper Sherlin, and Keeper Hannah. And as you can tell, we really, once again, always, we're forever grateful, and we owe it all to Keepers Club and our founding president, who is none other than the Keepers Club president, Pastor Apollo C. Kiglo. So we hope you enjoyed, and see you soon. We will still be on the call, but just know too that if you want to view this episode, just type in Keepers Club Podcast on YouTube, which is right here. If you don't have time to watch it, you can listen to it on Anchor Spotify, right? And here's our logos: Keepers Club USA, Keepers Club International, and here is our official flyer, the Keepers Club Podcast, essentially talking about the struggles of being a youth. So, before we end it, can we all take a picture, if that's all right? Well, what a nice episode. Diba? You guys enjoy, by the way? Oh, hi, AC. All right, let's do a normal one. Let's just like smile, like show your guys' smiles. Cheers. All right. Ready? I'm screen recording, so go. All right, and one more. Let's do the keeper sign, Father. All right, so 1, 2, 3. So go keepers, and hope everyone has a great day. Kindly wave to one another, and what an awesome episode! All right, so much love to all the keepers, and we hope you have a great day.
Ooh, awesome
Feel free to stay
episode.
also. We'll probably just like talk once again, but what an awesome episode, and go keepers of the
Ooh.
12. See you in episode 13 for